As many of you know, Daniel Perry was found guilty in a Travis County courthouse for the murder of Foster Garrett. Or is it Garrett Foster? I don't remember. That shows you how closely I paid attention to this trial. I did cover this quite a bit back in the day when the shooting first started, but I didn't even know that Perry was up for trial until I found out that he was convicted. So I haven't followed the trial very carefully. I guess Kyle did, so Kyle comes in and says, Daniel Perry did nothing wrong. We must hold these one-sided prosecutors accountable. We must push for this prosecutor to be investigated and disbarred by the Texas State Bar. Give me a break. This cannot continue to happen. He's posted a lot on this, and it raises one question I have for Kyle. Do you have any adults around you that can give you good advice? And by adults, I mean not lawyers. Hello out there. I am trying to get through.
With his powerful brainwaves cradled in the warmth of reasoning, it's time for Johnny Walker Dredd to straighten you out on a thing or two. Emanating all the way from exciting Las Vegas, Oklahoma, it's the Johnny Walker Dredd Show.
Kyle is really hopping mad over this. Sergeant Daniel Perry did nothing wrong. Sergeant Daniel Perry exercised his God-given right to self-defense. He was wrongfully convicted and should never have been put on trial. Sergeant Perry served his country and his country betrayed him. Everyone who supports the God-given right to self-defense needs to support Daniel Perry. I urge everyone to call the Texas Board of Pardons and Paroles and put pressure on them to do the right thing and set Sergeant Perry free. And he gives out the phone number. So if Kyle had called me and said, hey, guess what? I have a whole bunch of tweets that I'm going to be pushing out about Daniel Perry. My question would be, what is your take on it? Well, Daniel Perry, he was wrongfully convicted. And that's when I would have came back and said, Kyle, you're suing Whoopi Goldberg and LeBron James because they refuse to respect the verdict of a jury. And now you're coming in and saying that we should ignore what the jury said in Travis County? Really? How are you going to handle this on the stand? When the lawyer for, let's say, Whoopi Goldberg asks you, is your real complaint really the fact that Whoopi Goldberg is calling you a murderer even though the jury acquitted you? Yes. Oh, so in other words, if a jury unanimously decide on a verdict, that verdict must be correct. True? What are you going to say? No? If you say no, you're admitting that Whoopi Goldberg can still call you a murderer because she believes the jury got it wrong. And if you say yes, they will point you right at your tweets. Then why are you saying that the jury got it wrong in Travis County? What are you going to tell them? Now, this is all ridiculous anyway. There is no chance in hell that Whoopi Goldberg and LeBron James are ever going to be in a courthouse with Kyle Rittenhouse. It's not going to happen. Although I don't think that Huber and Grosskreutz have any real chance against Kyle when it comes to their lawsuits against him. He has no chance against Whoopi and LeBron. They have far better lawyers than he does, and they're right. LeBron James never did anything that would approach slander. And neither did Whoopi, for that matter. Kyle's lawsuits against them will be thrown out. It won't even get to the point where it will go to trial. And Whoopi and LeBron are not going to give him go-away money. They can't. Their reputations depend on not caving into him. They're just going to tell him to pound sand, and that'll be the end of it. I would like anybody who disagrees to tell me on what basis does he have a claim against either one of those. At any rate, Kyle, this was a really bad mistake. Look, you know how to get a hold of me. The next time, before you hook up your wagon to these horses, why don't you just give me a call and we'll talk it over. This was a huge mistake on your part. Like my video, subscribe to my channel.